What's good, everybody? It's the Cloud with Cap Show. Shout out to the Golden State Warriors. Just like I've been telling you guys from the jump, the Golden State Warriors will win the 2022 NBA Finals, and they did. Shout out to Steph Curry, his first NBA Finals MVP. Well-deserved. Dropped 34 in Game 6. Look, I just saw it coming. I just think the difference, obviously, was Steph Curry, but we got to give a lot of credit to Andrew Wiggins. I think he was the second best player in Golden State throughout the series against the Boston Celtics. And I think for the Boston Celtics, nothing to hold your hat on. Look, you guys tried. You guys did everything you could possibly do. I mean, seriously, but at the end of the day, this was really one of the easiest picks for me. Even though after Game 1 where the Warriors blew the lead and they lost the game, yes, I had some doubts, but I still kept my pick, and I still went with the Golden State Warriors to win in 6 or 7 games, just like I predicted. And it all came, and it just, I manifested it, dude. It was incredible. But my thing is like, what was Boston going to do? And I think for Boston, they had a lot of scores, and Jason Tatum did not show up when they needed him to, but he's still young. Jaylen Brown, he's still young. I mean, the whole team really is a young team. Marcus Smart, he's a great player. He's a solid 1-2 guy, but I just think for the Boston Celtics, they didn't have that true point guard. They didn't have a point guard like, for instance, Chris Paul, but who does, right? Chris Paul's a Hall of Famer. I just think they needed a true point guard to where they could do it all, to where, you could play defense, you could lead a team. I just feel like in certain aspects for Boston Celtics, they would get in their sets and just really be unorganized and just not really with the flow. And sometimes in certain possessions with the Boston Celtics, it was like, what are they doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it was just sloppy a little bit. But I just think for Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry, his legacy, he's got 4 NBA championships. Same thing with Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. Shout out to Draymond Green. 12 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. That's Draymond. And Draymond, he is their heart and soul for the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, we could say, without Draymond, they would not even make it this far. We know that. Because Draymond's that guy to do all the dirty work, to do everything where a lot of the players in today's game, where the NBA has gotten soft, they don't want to do that work. Draymond can do it. Draymond's one of few players in the NBA currently today that could play back in the 80s and 90s, dude. We have to understand the 80s and 90s were a completely different game, where it was just like, dude, we will forearm you, we will foul you hard when you go to the cup, and that's that. And they might call a foul. Nowadays, they flop and they call these crazy flagrants, and it's softened up. It really has. And I think really the ratings have gone down for the NBA because of that, because of the flops, because of the sissy calls that they're calling now. It's like, dude, the 80s and 90s, dude, these cats, man, they would have laughed at the way the game's played today. I mean, seriously. I mean, MJ, Dennis Rodman came out and said MJ would average 50 in today's game. And I really believe it, but nothing to take away from the Boston Celtics. I think they will continue to get better, continue to grow. I do think they need a true point guard. Get a true point guard, put Marcus Smart at number 2, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. I mean, dude, they got a nice squad. They really do. I just think they can add a couple more pieces to that puzzle for the Boston Celtics. Now, for Golden State, I mean, obviously they're coming in as preseason favorites to repeat, which I'm not even mad about. I mean, them getting Andrew Wiggins, and then obviously Klay Thompson bouncing back. 12 points in Game 6. I mean, for Klay Thompson, what he's had to go through, missing 2 years with injuries. Now he's came back, never gave up. Now look at Klay Thompson. He's a 4-time NBA champion, dude. Same thing with Draymond and Steph, dude. And shout out to Iguodala as well. Although Iguodala did not, play as much. But, hey, he got in there, right? He had 1 minute in Game 6. But throughout the series, he got in a couple times. But, he's a legend. Andre Iguodala is such a legend. But, shout out to the youngins. Jordan Poole's got a ring, right? We look at superstars, for instance, in today's age, like James Harden. He doesn't have a ring. But Jordan Poole does, you know what I'm saying? But that's another story. Shout out to Gary Payton II, dude. Getting a ring, following his father's footsteps. I just think for the Warriors, dude, there's just so much that goes on with the Warriors. And they live and die by the 3. And really, this year we saw what can happen. And I think for Steph Curry, he's changed the game forever. He really has. Even back in 2008 when I saw him play at Davidson, I said, dude, this kid's going to be great. He's going to be great one day. He's going to be a future superstar. And this was when I was really a teenager at the time when I saw Steph. I was just like, this kid, he just knows how to get open. He knows how to create space. And obviously, the best shooter the game's has ever seen. He really is, dude. And a lot of the old heads today, I had a conversation with an old head recently, and he said Steph Curry would be a good role player in the 80s and 90s. And I laughed at that. I said, really, dude? Steph Curry, dude, we're talking about the greatest shooter the game has ever seen. He continues to break records, continues to elevate his game. And really, people can hate on Steph and say all these things. At the end of the day, Steph Curry's a champion. And Steph Curry's in my top 5 greatest players to ever play the game of basketball. He's got to be. And if he's not in your top 10, then who's in your top 10? I'm trying to figure that out right now. Like, seriously, if Steph Curry's not in your top 10, I don't know if you understand the game of basketball. I don't know, what's going on, but Steph Curry deserves to be at least in your top 10. He's in my top 5. He's in at number 5. And definitely if he wins next year, he'll have 5 championship rings. I mean, obviously, me being a huge LeBron James fan, that's not going to look good on LeBron if Steph Curry has one more ring than LeBron, dude. Let alone, Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. I just think for the Warriors, they built this dynasty up from the bottom, dude. And it really started with Steph Curry back in 2009 when they drafted him. We have to understand who they took before him. Johnny Flynn, dude. Yeah, just so many, Ricky Rubio, they took him before Steph, dude. Just think the Minnesota Timberwolves could have had Steph Curry, dude. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. At the end of the day, they messed up. Steph was the 7th overall pick, and really, Steph rode to the top there. He's at the top, dude. Steph Curry's at the top. I would say Steph Curry and LeBron James are the face of the NBA. Really has been for the past 5 years. And I think it's going to continue to go. And I think, me being a huge LeBron James fan, I'm thinking, dude, what's LeBron going to do this offseason with the Lakers? I don't know. I think for LeBron, he should definitely go back to Cleveland and finish his career there. But I just think for Golden State, what's the possibility of them repeating? I think it's a high possibility. I really do. And a lot of people, what really struck me is that so many people went on Boston and said they had the better team, which at the time I was like, yeah, they have better flow, they have better chemistry. I will agree with that. But at the end of the day, the Golden State Warriors have championship DNA. They have that. They understand what's at stake. They have all that. Have the experience. Have the heart, the grit. Not to take away from the Boston Celtics, but to me, this was one of the easiest picks for me. That's why I roll with Golden State. That's why I said Golden State 2.5, 3 months ago. I just saw it, dude. And it started with Steph Curry. It'll always end with Steph Curry with Golden State. And I think what Golden State has right now, it's such an iconic, the team right now. It's just so crazy. Steve Kerr, he was a great role player with Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. He actually hit a big shot in Game 6 against Charles Barkley and the Phoenix Suns when he was playing as a player. Now he's a coach, coaching the greatest shooter ever. And not to mention Klay Thompson. Just think if Klay Thompson never got hurt, Like, seriously. Obviously, they lost in 2019 against the Raptors, but I really think they would have won in 2021, even beat the Bucks then. But I just think for Steph Curry right now, him and LeBron James are the face of the NBA. And I understand Giannis, he did win last year in 2021. But I just think just the way the fans are, it just the media and everything. I think Steph, man, I think a lot of people should love Steph and never take him for granted because he's one of those athletes where he's not overly cocky or he's not like, flexing or whatever the case is. I think, Steph Curry's humble. I really do. And I think, him being a humble, great athlete and the greatest shooter ever, dude, that's just the icing on top, man. And I think that's why people love Steph Curry. And I wouldn't be surprised if Steph Curry has the #1 jersey sale right now, dude, because, dude, what he's done with the Golden State Warriors and everything he's changed in the NBA. Now players want to shoot it for 30-plus feet. They want to do these crazy things that Steph Curry can do. And it's like Steph Curry's not out here banging on players. Steph Curry isn't doing 360 windmills, like we've seen cats do back in the early 2000s and shit, dude. Like, Steph Curry's really changed the game. And I think for the youth right now who's coming up as teenagers into the game, they're like, hey, we want to play like the Golden State Warriors. We want to run and gun, and we want to hit the open three if we got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget trying to go in the paint and throw it to the big man. No, what Golden State does is they're going to shoot threes on you, and that's what they do. And that's why they win games, because three's more than two. And I love it, dude. And it gives a lot of faith and hope to the little man out there, really. Because basketball is a tall man's game. It's a big man's game. But I think Steph Curry's really changing it now where it's like, hey, you don't have to be 7 foot to make it to the league. You don't. I mean, Steph Curry isn't 7 foot, dude. He's not even 6'5", dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to be ripped. You don't have to bench, over 300 pounds or squat over 300 pounds. I mean, look at Steph Curry, dude. He's a little dude, but yeah, he has the sauce. He has the capability to break you off. He has a nice handle. He's smooth, dude. What I would say about Steph Curry is he's got the sauce, dude. He really does. He just has that smooth ability where everything is just so nice on Steph. And yes, he does have off nights. I think it was, game 5 where he didn't hit a 3 first time in like 233 consecutive games. Like, that is crazy, dude. Like, Steph, dude, he's automatically a Hall of Famer. No doubt about it. And I'm still sticking to my word. I still would take Steph Curry over Magic Johnson. I really would, dude. As a point guard to lead my team to victory, I will take Steph Curry over Magic all day. Nobody can guard Steph. Nobody can. And not to disrespect Magic, he's a legend himself. Definitely in my top 10. But I just think what Steph's doing right now in the NBA, dude, building his brand, dude, building the Golden State Warriors from the ground up, from 2009 all the way to what it's at right now. It's amazing, dude. Golden State, I think all the fans there are so fortunate and so blessed right now to get what they have. Really, though. But, for the NBA Finals, like I said, this was an easy pick for me. Probably the easiest pick of my life. It really was. Besides, picking the Patriots when Tom Brady was there. Besides that, it was just like, dude, this is another easy pick. It really was. And shout out to Klay Thompson, man. He stepped up when he needed to. Obviously, and I think Wiggins, man. I think Wiggins, without Andrew Wiggins, obviously they don't win this series. We can say that about Draymond and Klay and Steph and all that. But I truly believe Andrew Wiggins was definitely the X factor in this finals, dude. He played out of his mind. And I think this offseason, if Golden State wants to repeat, you have to sign Andrew Wiggins. You have to. I would sign him to a 4-year deal, something like that. He deserves it, dude. Andrew Wiggins, former first-round overall pick. He deserves it back in 2014. Really didn't pan out with Minnesota, but, at the end of the day, Andrew Wiggins got to the top. He's at the top of the pinnacle right now, so I think that's what they should do this offseason if you're Golden State, is to re-sign Andrew Wiggins. Then, obviously, Steph Curry. I think, he's the face right now, dude. He's the leader right now, and I think Golden State, what they have going is something special. If Klay Thompson can stay healthy, I think, the sky's the limit for them. And Jordan Poole, young player coming in, winning, right, fresh in the league, dude. I think it's great. But, for the Boston Celtics, nothing to hang their hat on. They're going to learn from this and continue to get better. But like I said, they got to get a true point guard eventually. They got to do it. But, like I said, shout out to the Golden State Warriors, man. Shout out to Chef Curry, boy. I'm telling you, a game changer. You guys should have listened to me. You guys want to become millionaires. It's the Clownable Cam Show. Let's go!